Today I'm going to be reviewing this zero-turn mower handle and bucket that was recently sent to me by the brand. Bucket bracket. So this is essentially designed to hold a bucket so you can easily pick things up when you're going along mowing with your ZTR. So I'm going to go and open this up, show you exactly what you're going to get inside. So this is everything you're going to get inside. So you're going to get all the bolts, you're going to get this part, and then the handles. So those are going to connect together. And then you're going to get your bucket bracket. So that's going to be that part there that connects up. It does come with some basic instructions, not too terribly difficult to figure out without instructions, but essentially you're just going to put all these pieces together, and then your bolts are actually going to go up through here and then connect in. Now, if you do have a ZTR, you will need to find a spot for that to go at. So it's really going to depend on what the front of your ZTR looks like based on whether this bracket will work for you or not. So as you can see here, this is what the holes are going to look like. So if you're going to put this pole somewhere, you're going to need to find a spot where you can either put those like one on each side, kind of like that. It's possible I could get it to fit on this side here. We'll see if the bolts are going to be long enough to go there, because essentially the bolts are just going to go up and through it. And if that doesn't work, then I might be able to put it somewhere down lower. So you will have to have a spot for this to like connect into. So that is something you're going to want to keep in mind. You will need to have like a couple of spots for bolts for these. So if you've got it even on the deck, as this is designed really to be not to pull yourself up with, just, to your balance as you're climbing up onto your ZTR, or also, to hold that bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and see how long those bolts are, see if it'll work here for me, because if it will, that'd be awesome. So these are going to be really long bolts. So as you can see, it is going to fit around this part of the frame. I don't have them tightened down 100% yet, but you can see those bolts themselves are going to be right around hair over 4 inches, about 4.5 inches long on there. So I've got it screwed up into here, and then it's still hanging down here a little bit at the bottom. So I'm obviously going to tighten it up, and I'll get that much tightness on it. But you can see, let me kind of try and measure the frame here, just to kind of show you what I'm looking at. So my frame here is 3 inches, and even with that bottom piece on for the bolts, and then even with the washer and the nut up here at the top, it still easily fits over this 3-inch frame. So as long as your frame, I would say I've got probably a 1/4 inch leeway or so. So as long as where you're screwing at isn't more than, or attaching it to or bolting it to isn't more than like 3 1/4 inches deep, then this would work for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this assembled all of the way out. One thing I do want to mention, that you're going to have this little attachment piece you're going to put in here. Make sure you don't drop it all the way down in, because it actually will slide all the way in when you're putting on these little screws. So the instructions, they're not super clear on which screws to use. So you kind of just have to look at the pictures here. So you can see this is going to be a short screw. These are going to be longer screws here and here. Both those are going to be I. And then you can see you've got 4 that are the same, and then you've only got 2 of these short ones. So that's how I knew that these short ones were going to be used to connect the 2 poles. Now, when you're assembling these, you're essentially going to have the one side that's going to be up, and the other side's going to be down, and that's going to give you that circle. Now, I do still have to tighten up these bolts to get this to make a exact circle on there. You can see this is where my bucket is now going to go. Now, obviously, what I can do, since I've got it mounted here, I can actually kind of spin this and tighten it like that. So if I want my bucket to be closer in there, or I can have it kind of spun out like this so my bucket's more in front. Now, because of the way my ZTR is, it's got this, which is going to be to lower and raise the deck. So I'm actually going to go ahead and have it kind of out towards the front on there, but should work really nicely for holding a bucket. I also make it a little bit easier to kind of get up and down off of the ZTR. Obviously, depending on the size of your ZTR, you're going to be pretty far off the ground, so having that additional space and room to climb up on them is going to be nice. Being able to kind of get a grip onto that. You're not supposed to pull on it just because of the way it's not designed to hold weight and that sort of thing, but you could certainly use it to keep your balance, or even give it a little pull, not putting your full weight on it when you're getting up or getting down is really going to be the big thing, because you can kind of hold a hand on there while you're stepping down off the ZTR, especially if you're a little bit older, maybe have a little bit of steady issues, those sorts of things when getting off and on your mower. So overall, definitely a good option for you holding a bucket, and then also just a handle to kind of keep your balance.